Hi, everyone, and welcome to Studio Jake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for tuning in today on my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, so diving right into it. James Gunn has faced a lot of scrutiny over time about how he is arranging what he is calling the DCU. So, which, for those of you unfamiliar, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, but just in case, that is what he is calling his rebooted DCEU, which was started by that hack Zack Snyder, and now James Gunn is taking it over and he's rebranded it as the DCU. According to him, it has not launched officially yet, but some actors from the DCEU will migrate over to his DCU. So, for instance, John Cena's Peacemaker. What's interesting about this is early on, when James Gunn first announced, the direction he was going, what he was doing, he told a lot of lies. But one person to jump in to defend him from fan scrutiny and criticism was Zachary Levi, who of course plays Shazam, as was known in the DCEU, although his name is actually Captain Marvel. Marvel stole Captain Marvel and then trademarked the name because their name is Marvel Comics, even though Captain Marvel existed way before Marvel was a gleam in anyone's eye, including Stan Lee's. But anyway, so they went through a couple of different names before they would just keep his name, but his comic was called Shazam. Eventually, he became known as Captain Thunder, but that name was sort of short-lived, and then he finally just settled on Shazam, which was the name of the wizard who originally gave him his powers, but now I think the wizard is just called the Wizard at the End of the Earth, or simply the Wizard. So now Billy Batson, that's the identity, the secret identity of Shazam. Now he just goes by Shazam. Anyway, Zachary Levi portrayed Shazam in the titular film, and then its sequel, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which had a lot of weird things in it, but it was just kind of a generic action film. It wasn't really that exciting. Well, originally Zachary Levi had really defended James Gunn's attempt, because if you had watched Shazam and even Shazam: Fury of the Gods, with the exception of a cameo from Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, it kind of existed in its own world. They don't really reference events that happened in Zack Snyder's hack universe. Well, now, though, James Gunn is acting like it's not going to be canon at all. He's not going to even use it as a jumping off point. He's just going to completely reboot it, starting with, I can't remember the name of the film, but it's about a group of characters no one cares about. And then Superman Legacy is coming along later. And Zachary Levi defended this. He defended James Gunn's approach to it. He said, give it an effing chance, if I remember correctly. Well, I'm wondering if Zachary Levi, like Henry Cavill, like Gal Gadot, if he's not getting a phone call, because apparently he is throwing shade at the nepotism in Hollywood. Now, outside of politics, I don't have a problem if a CEO appoints his son to a position. Now, if his son ruins the company, then yes, the son should be fired like anyone else. He shouldn't get special treatment. And James Gunn is like the king of nepotism. His brother Sean Gunn, who was mainly known as a side character in the Gilmore Girls, he has made so many freaking appearances in James Gunn's works. It's almost laughable. And his wife apparently is going to get a role in the new DCU. So Zachary Levi decided to throw shade at this. This is according to comicbookmovie.com. Well, it seems Zachary Levi has resigned himself to the likelihood that he won't be suiting up as Shazam again. During an interview with comicbook.com, Levi spoke about his role as the DC Comics hero and whether he has any interest in returning as the character in the rebooted DCU. The actor reiterated that he is very proud of Fury of the Gods despite the lukewarm critical reception and disappointing box office performance. Levi was then asked about the possibility of appearing as an entirely different character in the DCU, since Jason Momoa is most likely leaving Aquaman to play Lobo, and Sean Gunn will take the role of Maxwell Lord, after already playing Weasel in the Suicide Squad. He will also voice the Fury Menace and GI Robot in Creature Commandos. At this point, Levi decided to throw a little shade at Gunn's casting. When you're the brother of the guy who runs DC, I guess you get to play who you want. I think that's kind of funny. It's really interesting how the Hollywood system works, because you always seem to fill up. I mean, think about it. The director of Death Proof, one of his films got nominated at the Academy Awards. Actually, probably several of them. I don't know. I don't keep up with that particular director because I think he's overrated. But I will say the Hollywood system does seem to reward failure. Now, James Gunn is not a failure. Unlike Hack Snyder, James Gunn has actually directed and produced some pretty decent films. I've reviewed them, I've discussed them. I thought he did a great job with the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. In fact, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was probably the best thing that Marvel Studios had done since Spider-Man No Way Home, except Disney didn't do that one, Sony did that one. So it's really interesting to see sort of the ins and outs and how it's all weaving together in Hollywood. Personally, I think Zachary Levi was the right choice to play Shazam. He was well posed for it, and he looks like if they decided to age Billy Batson, he could even portray Billy Batson as an adult and then, change into Shazam. I think that's really cool. I would like to see him return to the role and be given a decent movie. I don't think that's going to happen, even though Fury of the Gods definitely teased a connection and a sequel with Mr. Mind, and is it Mastermind or Mr. Mind? I can't remember. The little caterpillar alien. And also Black Adam kind of hinted. Now, what's interesting was Black Adam was Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. It was his attempt to save the DCEU, and it failed. He wanted to do a movie where he got to fight Henry Cavill's Superman. That was supposed to be, the Man of Steel 2, I guess, what was going to be them battling. Black Adam is not a Superman villain. He's a Captain Marvel, aka Shazam villain. So I don't know why he thought that. Now, that's not to say Black Adam hasn't fought Superman. He has on multiple occasions. And because Black Adam's powers are magic-based, which is magic is one of Superman's weaknesses, he's able to go toe-to-toe with him. And also the fact that he's super powerful. But they did hint at the Shazam connection with a cameo from the Wizard. I believe he has a cameo at the beginning because they try to steal, or they try to take away Black Adam's powers, but he fights them off. And that's when he gets sealed away. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the film. I don't really want to see Zachary Levi play someone else. And I think that is kind of an issue that James Gunn is going to run in, is Warner Brothers Discovery has pretty much burned all the bridges with the fans, same as Disney, same with Paramount. I don't really understand the desire that these companies have in burning bridges with their fans. Everyone keeps telling me, or I don't want to say everyone, all the shills keep telling me, give it a chance. James Gunn hasn't even gotten a chance to release his movies yet. Just give it a chance. No, I'm done giving these filmmakers chances. Now, James Gunn definitely has more credibility with me with the way he's handled the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, but seeing things like Brightburn, do I really want to give him a chance with Superman? Are we going to get another teenaged, angsty Superman that Zack Snyder was trying to develop? Are we going to get the creepy, I'm going to spy on my girlfriend and use my X-ray vision to see what her and her new boyfriend are up to, like what we got with Superman Returns? Or are we going to get like a really good adaptation? One of the things that bugged me when the Batman was in production was the director kept saying, oh, we used Kurt Cobain as an influence for Bruce Wayne, and you definitely saw that. Oh, we used the Zodiac Killer as a reference for the Riddler. Here's a bright idea. Why don't you use Batman for your Batman reference, and why don't you use the Riddler for your Riddler reference? There are literally at this point tens of thousands of comic book pages that they could pull from, and I'm worried that with Superman Legacy we're going to see the same thing. With the Zachary Levi incident, it seems to me he wants to return to Shazam, tying the DCEU with Fury of the Gods. I think that was a mistake, because I think if they had just said, hey, this just exists apart, kind of like what they did with the Fantastic Four reboot that Josh Trank directed, because originally it was supposed to be part of the X-Men universe, but it tested so poorly with audiences, they said, oh, no, it's just its own thing. Fox said it's just its own thing. It exists apart. That's when I knew there was trouble with that universe. But I think that with the connection with Zachary Levi to the DCU, I think that was a mistake. I think it was kind of a last gasp of, desperation for Warner Brothers Discovery to bring back the Snyderverse. They wanted the Snyderverse just without Snyder or his cult. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. Like I said, Zack Snyder is a hack. His cult is rabid. We know they use bots to manipulate how popular he was on social media. You can tell that by the lack of enthusiasm for his Star Wars Magnificent Seven ripoff Rebel Moon. So wherever the twists and turns may take us, I honestly think that the DCU is going to be for a rude awakening, and I think Zachary Levi has every right to throw shade, even if it's just in good fun, at James Gunn, because personally, and this is just my opinion, I'm not speaking for anyone else, I am not enthusiastic about any of the projects that have been announced. Even Batman 2, I enjoyed the Batman. I put it on my top 10 best films of that year. It's been so long and we can't get confirmation on anything that the enthusiasm is just kind of drained out of me. And quite frankly, from the way James Gunn has handled things and the way he goes into lying whenever he's trying to promote something, I am just tired of it. And I think most fans are tired of it. And I think that general audiences are tired of it as well. That does not bode well for the DCU. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to Studio Jake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.